A big change is coming to the Golden State Warriors. As you all know, the Warriors have currently fallen to the 11th spot in the Western Conference, and it has been rumored that the Warriors have reached out to other teams in order to acquire another NBA superstar. In today's video, we're going to be going through 5 NBA superstars that the Golden State Warriors are pursuing right now in order to make a blockbuster trade. So make sure to like this video, and guys, 92% of you are still not subscribed to the channel, so it'd mean the world if you could subscribe to the channel, hitting that red button down below. The first is none other than Lauri Markkanen. Now, as you all know, Lauri Markkanen does play for the Utah Jazz, and the Jazz haven't had the greatest season so far. So it does seem the Utah Jazz are willing to ship him off for the right price, and I think the Golden State Warriors could use someone of Lauri Markkanen's caliber to really set these things off for what the Warriors are trying to achieve. As you all know, Lauri Markkanen is not just a one-time All-Star in 2017-2018 All-Rookie, but he actually won the 2022 to 2023 Most Improved, and I do believe he is still getting better as time goes on, but it is just sad to see that the Utah Jazz just haven't been able to perform. And this is why I think this would be a perfect fit for what the Warriors are trying to do. The Warriors are currently ranked 11th in the Western Conference, and they are so close to heading back into the playoff picture when it comes to making the play-ins and even in the top 8. So I think this is very important for someone like the Warriors to actually get someone like Lauri Markkanen, especially at this point in the season. Now, when it comes to Markkanen, he has been playing great so far this season, where he's been averaging 23.4 points, 8.4 rebounds, and 1.1 assists. But on top of this, the most fantastic thing about this is that he has an effective field goal percentage of 58% and has been shooting from the three-point line 40% from the three while attempting 8.3 three-point attempts per game. Guys, these are insane numbers from Lauri Markkanen, and although the Jazz haven't been the best, it definitely does show that Lauri Markkanen is still a player to be reckoned with. On top of this, he has great defense and does stand at a pretty nice height of 7 foot 240 pounds. So I think getting someone of his caliber will not only make this team better, but it does add the size that the Golden State Warriors desperately need. You have seen so far this season that the Warriors really do struggle against teams with taller players. We've seen them lose back-to-back games against Oklahoma City Thunder, with Chet Holmgren would actually be a huge problem for them. And I do believe height is might to a certain extent, and although the Warriors do love their small ball basketball, it can't always work in every single situation. The second player is none other than Pascal Siakam. Now, when it comes to Siakam, he has been playing fantastic for the Toronto Raptors, and the Raptors right now actually do rank 11th in the Eastern Conference. The Raptors are looking to shake things up, and they are looking to rebuild from scratch once again, and now may be a perfect time for the Warriors to get a superstar like Pascal Siakam on their team. Now, as you all know, Pascal is actually a 2-time All-NBA, 2-time All-Star, and an NBA champion, but on top of all that, he did win the 2018-2019 Most Improved Player. So Pascal has definitely become such a fantastic player, and I think he would honestly be perfect for what the Warriors are trying to do. So far this season, he's averaging 20.9 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 5 assists, while also shooting an effective field goal percentage of 53%. So he has been playing fantastic, but on top of all that, I think his defense is definitely something that is so underrated about his game. It doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but Pascal is a great defender, on-ball defender, whether he's out on the wing or even bodying in the paint. And I think this is what comes as a huge asset for someone like the Warriors are trying to get, which is a big defender. Now, Siakam does stand at 6'8", 230 pounds, which is great to see, so he will add that extra height that is definitely needed. On top of that, he is still only 29 years of age. Having a young player like Pascal join the team at this early of his career, I think is going to be a huge asset due to the fact that one day when the Warriors retire, at least they have great stars like Siakam in the team that can help carry and the legacy on from what the Warriors are trying to do. So I do believe he will be a huge asset for what they are trying to do as well, and I think his great IQ in defense and also in pick and roll situations will definitely pay dividends for what the Warriors have so far. They do have Chris Paul, who is a great addition, but I do believe he does need some help when it comes to the pick and roll situations. He does a fantastic job with Dario Saric, but it does seem when it comes to Draymond Green or also other players like Kevon Looney, Chris Paul really does struggle in pick and roll situations with them, since they aren't really too much of scorers besides inside big men. I think Siakam really does add a lot. He has the mid-range, range, has a little bit of a three, averaging a 30% three-point percentage, and also has that inside presence if needed. And I think his pick and roll situations would definitely be a lot better than the bigs that they have so far, besides maybe Dario Saric. The third player is none other than Jeremy Grant. Now, as you all know, Jeremy Grant has been a fantastic player for none other than the Portland Trailblazers, and so far this season he's averaging 22.4 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 2.2 assists. Now, as you all know, Damian Lillard did leave the Portland Trailblazers, which left them without a star, but it does seem that Jeremy Grant has definitely tried to hold his own and has done a fantastic job to become a very good player. Now, the Portland Trailblazers do actually rank 14th in the Western Conference. However, when it comes to Jeremy Grant's stats, it definitely does show he's still a great scorer and can still, be a part of a great championship team. And this is why the Warriors are very interested in a player like Jeremy Grant, and especially of his caliber. Now, Grant actually has a 52% effective field goal percentage, which is great, but on top of that, he has a 40% three-point percentage and also an 83% free throw percentage. So it definitely does show Jeremy Grant is a scorer and is also an efficient scorer at that, which I think is what the Warriors desperately need. Now, Grant stands at 6'7", 210 pounds. He does play that power forward, small forward position, which I think is fantastic, and he is only 29 years of age. Now, something that definitely does go unrecognized is his ability to play defense, because he is an outstanding defender. Him being 6'7", he's able to guard anywhere pretty much 1 through 5, and he has no problem even going up against bigger guys who are around that 6'10", 7-foot range. Even though he is 6'7", he can still definitely hold on his own. And on top of that, guys, if we look at his stats when it comes to steals and blocks, he actually averages 0.8 steals and 0.9 blocks, which I think is great to see. The fourth player is none other than Zach LaVine. Now, as you all know, Zach LaVine and the Chicago Bulls have not had the greatest season, and they actually currently rank 12th in the Eastern Conference. And it has already been rumored time and time again that the Bulls are actually looking to ship everyone out, whether it comes to DeRozan, Caruso, or even Zach LaVine. Now, I think all of them would be fantastic picks for the Golden State Warriors, but I do believe Zach LaVine would probably be the perfect fit. Now, LaVine stands at 6'5" and has actually been averaging 21 points, 4.9 rebounds, and 3.4 assists. So he has done a fantastic job when it comes to playing for the Chicago Bulls, even though they haven't been the greatest team, but still putting up really good numbers. Now, he is a two-time All-Star, and I think the Golden State Warriors could definitely use someone of his caliber, especially if there was a good trade on the market. Now, as we all know, Klay Thompson hasn't really lived up to his hype. Maybe he can turn it around, but if he doesn't, I think getting someone like Zach LaVine in the team can definitely provide that shooting guard scoring that is desperately needed for what the Warriors are trying to do and trying to claw their way back into the playoff spots. Now, when it comes to getting someone like Zach LaVine, the reason why I think this is a lot of bang for buck to get someone like LaVine in the team is that so far right now he's actually injured and is supposed to be missing the next 3 to 4 weeks, which does bring his trade value a lot down. On top of that, the Bulls are in desperate need of getting rid of their stars. They've said it time and time again that they've tried to trade LaVine multiple times, but they haven't seemed to be able to find a good deal for him. I think the Golden State Warriors could definitely put together a pretty good package. Now, this may upset a lot of you Warriors fans, but Klay Thompson could be in that package, Draymond Green may be in that package, and also even Chris Paul. But I do believe it is time for the Warriors to shake things up, because what they are doing right now is definitely not working. You can even add Wiggins to that mix when it comes to getting someone of LaVine's caliber, and I do believe the Bulls definitely would accept a trade from the Warriors if any of those stars were definitely mentioned. The Warriors do have a great team, and I think they are just missing a couple more pieces, and I think Zach LaVine can definitely be that guy to help push them over the edge and push them back into their winning ways. The fifth player is none other than Karl Anthony Towns. Now, as you all know, Karl Anthony Towns has been absolutely dominating for the Minnesota Timberwolves, because they currently have a 19-5 record and are currently first in the Western Conference. Now, Karl Anthony Towns would be a tough pick to sell, but I do believe that the Golden State Warriors have mentioned time and time again how they are desperate need of trying to find a way to get Karl Anthony Towns in a Golden State Warriors uniform. And Kat has also made it known in the past in podcasts and also interviews that another team that he would desperately play for is definitely the Golden State Warriors. Now, this would be a tough sell since the Warriors are currently ranked 11th while the Timberwolves are ranked 1st, but it doesn't mean it is impossible. I do believe that the Timberwolves have definitely set their sights on making Anthony Edwards the star of this team, and whether that will continue on or if there is beef that is brewing due to the fact that Karl Anthony Towns still believes it's his team, we may definitely see how this goes on in the future. But Karl Anthony Towns so far this season has been averaging 22.4 points, 9.5 rebounds, and 3 assists. So he has done a fantastic job, and he has been shooting also 43% from the 3, which is fantastic, 90% from the free throw line, and 58% from the field. So guys, he's a part of that 50, 40, 90 club right now, and it is honestly ridiculous to see just how great he has been playing as of recent. When it comes to Karl-Anthony Towns, I think something that is so underrated about his game is definitely his defense. He does only average 0.9 steals and 0.7 blocks, but on top of all that, I think his ability to really stay in the paint, really contest shots in the paint, and also guard on the wing if needed be, has definitely shown his caliber of defensive abilities, especially when it comes to guarding 1 through 5. Now, Cat isn't the quickest player, he isn't the one that is going to lock down everyone, but I do believe his defense has definitely helped out the Timberwolves a lot, which is one of the reasons why they do rank #1 in the Western Conference. And the Warriors can definitely use someone of his size, as Cat does stand at 7 foot, 248 pounds, and is still only 28 years of age. So he has all tools to be the right player, and I think if the Warriors were going to get someone of his caliber, they would have to definitely throw in 2 to 3 stars in order to get him. Would it be worth it? I do think so.